Well, hello everyone, a very warm welcome, and thank you very much for your interest in the Hinrich Foundation Sustainable Trade Challenge. My name is Steve Olson. I'm a senior research fellow at the Hinrich Foundation in Singapore. My career began in Washington, D.C. A very long time ago as a U.S. trade negotiator, and I've spent the past 25 years or so based in Asia or the Middle East, holding senior executive positions in the private sector, NGOs, and academic institutions. Now, I've run this exercise, the Sustainable Trade Challenge, on numerous occasions for students literally from around the world. And I suppose the biggest takeaway is that the students are really in for an extremely interesting, engaging, and exciting learning experience that will challenge them to wrestle with some of the difficult real world trade-offs we face in sustainable trade, while at the same time conducting themselves in a highly professional manner, because after all, they're making these presentations to the president or the prime minister of a country. Now, what I'd like to do now, if I may, is take just a few minutes and offer a few tips and suggestions for your consideration as you move forward with this exercise. The first comment I'd make is take a certain amount of time to familiarize yourself with the Sustainable Trade Index workbook and the other resource materials that are available for you on the website. I think once you jump into the workbook, you'll find it very enjoyable, and I think you'll be impressed with its functionality, its ability to slice and dice the data in different ways, and to see the way it is telling the story on that particular country. In any case, it's important that you have at least a sufficient level of familiarity with the STI so that you can respond to any questions that might arise from the students. The second suggestion I would make is really pay attention to the atmospherics for this classroom. I tell the students that when we're doing this exercise, they are no longer students, we are no longer in a classroom, and I am no longer their professor. They are highly paid international trade consultants. I am the president or prime minister of the country they're presenting to, and we're not in the classroom, we're in the cabinet room in the national capital. Related to this, as you put together the panel, the evaluation panel, which will in essence serve as the president or prime minister's quote unquote cabinet, see if you can get either current government officials or former government officials from the country that the students will be presenting to. I understand it might not always be possible, but to the extent that you can do it, it adds to the atmospherics, it adds to the sense that we've got a high level, high stakes environment here that the students are presenting in. The fourth point I'd make, the fourth suggestion, is be sure to have a number of check-ins with the students. There is literally no time to waste in this exercise, so they can't get distracted, they can't spend time running down rabbit holes. So periodically check in with them, see how they're doing, see if there are any questions, and make sure that they're on track. Remember, the objective here is for them to produce a handful of targeted, practical, real-world suggestions to the president or prime minister so that this country can improve its performance in sustainable trade, improve its score and its ranking in the Sustainable Trade Index. The fifth suggestion I would make is really also share with the students what is the big picture objective here. The students will need to wrestle with some very complicated real world trade-offs that we can sometimes face in sustainable trade. Now look, let's face it, there are occasions in which the economic, societal, and environmental objectives of sustainable trade are entirely in alignment, are mutually supportive, and there are no difficult trade-offs to evaluate. Your students are not that lucky. Your students will need to be focused on those situations in which the economic, societal, and environmental objectives not only are not in alignment, but might be to one degree or another contradictory. And the other big picture aspect of this exercise is they should regard this as the first professional proposal, first professional presentation of their professional career. This is not an academic presentation. You're talking to a president or prime minister. Now, the final point I'd like to leave you with is your feedback on this is absolutely critical for us. We've laid out a template of an exercise for you here. If you find that it works perfectly well on an as-is basis for your class, please approach it from sort of a turnkey point of view. On the other hand, if you think you can make some modifications to make it more relevant for your class, for your students, please feel free to change this in whatever way suits your purposes. The only thing we ask is that you stay in touch with us, you let us know how it went, you give us your constructive feedback, what worked well, what didn't work well, and in particular, if you made any modifications to the program. We're extremely eager to learn from your experiences. So look, again, thank you very much for your interest in the Sustainable Trade Challenge. Good luck executing it in the classroom. Please stay in touch and let us know how it went. Thank you very much.